knocking on the door of Berlin, up to say about heights. You have the Allies across the line, and they're pushing forward very vigorously, straight into the heart of Germany. The German army is suffering, and what is approaching the arena is what we call a Kampfgruppe. And what that means is it's a battle. At the core of it are Grenadiers from the 304th Panzer Grenadier Regiment, and they are under instructions to move forward. There is an asset up ahead, there is a Hetzer tank hunter. The German army is very, very short-armed. This Hetzer has become separated from the parent unit, and the Panzer Grenadiers of this unit are tasked with supporting and assisting in the recovery of this Hetzer. The vehicle you can see in front of you, the lead vehicle, is SDK-222. The correct name for that is a Panzer Sparlager. That is a reconnaissance vehicle, so it's pre-war time, used quite successfully in the desert. It's a Ridley vehicle. It's designed to have cross-country capabilities. It's armed with a 2cm gun and MG34. There's another of these at the rear end of the column. Behind the 222 is an SDKF 251. That's commonly known as a Hunter. That's the vehicle with foliage sticking out. That is, well, we call it a battle taxi. It's the equivalent of the British Army FE 432. It's an armoured personnel carrier. But these were produced in quite large numbers, and they're designed to get Panzer Grenadiers into battle. So what you've got inside that is just called up Unparalleled. It's an armoured vehicle. It's got up to 15 mils of armour, but it's got a crew of 2, and it's got 10 Panzer Grenadiers in the back. You can see they are dismounting, debussing. Panzer Grenadier is a World War II German concept. Originally, these guys are just mechanised infantry. Infantry-tank cooperation has always been incredibly important. Marshal Churchill said, if you can separate tanks and infantry, both suffer. So the German army came up with elite infantry, Panzer Grenadier, who were designed specifically to operate with tanks, mounted in vehicles like 251. You can also see there's a truck heavy mover come in, pulling a Pak 38 anti-tank gun. This is a pre-war design. It's a 50mm weapon. It's probably not up to do with heavy armour, but it's still a potent weapon and it's useful against soft-skinned vehicles. Now the problem with the Pak is, as you can see by those guys having a lot of muscle power to move into position, is it needs to be towed into place, and then when it's in place, it's only quite a bomb. Unless you can hit the enemy first, he's going to be dropping mortar rounds around you, and the crew will suffer. There's, apart from that shield in front, there's no armor protection. Nevertheless, it is a useful weapon. Getting it in place, getting hammered up, and it's got very low profile, so they've been lucky to be able to score some hits on enemy tanks before they can see you. So it looks as though the Kampfgruppe commander has decided to fight the rearguard action. He is low on ammunition, his vehicles are low on fuel, and this is his last throw of the dice. He has been tasked with the recovery, the support of this Hetzer. He's going to carry that job out. The Kampfgruppe is a bit of a hodgepodge organisation. They were formed out of whatever units are available. So you've got the Panzer Grenadieren from the 304th Regiment, you've got anti-tank gunners, and then you've got the vehicle crews in the 222s. The truck, the heavy mover, is pushing down out of line of sight. The 222s have taken up station on the wings, And if you look at the Bund, you can see Panzer Grenadiers have deployed an MG42 team. That's a pretty ferocious weapon. It's probably the best machine gun of its type of World War II. It's got a horrific rate of fire. It's around about 1,200 rounds a minute. The MG42 is known as Hitler's buzzsaw, particularly amongst American troops. It's a very, very destructive, very rapid firing weapon. The Captain has set up his ambush scenario, and this is the nerve-wracking time. You've got to wait and hope that the enemy comes forward and falls into your trap. But of course, you're fairly confident you are on the text plates, but there is no guarantee that he will swing down the side and flank you from the rear. So the guys in their positions are sitting coming into the arena from the left-hand side. You can see there is the US Army Reconnaissance. They are pushing forward. You can see they're led by an M8 Greyhound armoured car. That is a recce vehicle. It's relatively light armour. It's a six-wheeler, all-wheel drive. British Army didn't really like it. They thought it was underpowered. They thought it was good on the roads, quite quick. Weren't impressed with its cross-country capabilities, and its belly armour is actually quite thin, which meant it was vulnerable to mines. But it does have a traversable turret with a 37mm gun. Now, the whole thing about reconnaissance is go out and find the enemy. Don't, if you avoid it, get shot at. If you're in a recce vehicle and you've got rounds clanging off the outside, the chances are you are doing something wrong. But the American unit is pushing forward. They are under instructions from high command to find and fix the German force ahead. Behind the Greyhound is a Jeep, that's the command vehicle, and then you've got a Dodge weapons carrier with a 50 caliber machine gun. The track is lifted up. The MG42 firing, they are scoring hits on the soft American vehicles, on the Jeep, Dodge. Greyhound is pulling back, and there is a tank making its way around. This is a Chaffee. Chaffee is a light tank, largely used for reconnaissance purposes. It's got the 75mm gun, which is a reasonably useful piece of kit, but it is lightly armoured. So the chances are the Chaffee crew are going to think twice about mixing it with an anti-tank gun, because they'll come across. Looking at the centre ground, the American soft-skid vehicles have been hit, brewing up. The crews have abandoned the vehicles. They've had to leave a lot of their heavy weaponry behind. They haven't even got the cover off their 50mm. So they've retreated backwards, and they're doing the only thing that is available to them. They have got down on their belt buckles, and they're ready to wait the next move. Greyhound has pulled round to the side. Greyhound has got power radio. Greyhound will be radioing for reinforcements. They have located the enemy. It's now time to do something about it. Shaky is pulling forward. What's he going to do? Is he going to fire on? No, the Shaky has pulled better of it. He's coming under fire, and he is pulling back to await reinforcements. So effectively it is round one to the Wehrmacht. They have knocked out a couple of American vehicles, they've pushed the troops back, and they've driven the recon element of this American formation back in a little bit of confusion. Greyhound commander is now going to be calling up reinforcements. They're going to need more armour to deal with this problem. And you can see entering from the left-hand side of the arena, we have a Sherman. A bit later on in the afternoon, you'll hear quite a lot more about the Sherman, but this is the most prolifically produced tank of World War II, with the exception of the Russian T-34. Over 50,000 Shermans were produced, and it is armed with 75mm gun. They were popular in their crews, they were reliable, but they were prey to German heavy arm. If a Sherman came up against something like a Tiger, those of you who've seen the Fury will know what happens. But the two tanks are through, the shaky has pulled round to assist the Sherman. The Sherman's moving round, they're reversing turrets round towards the German position. Chaffee's firing. The turn fire coming from the Panzer Grenadiers. If you're in one of these vehicles, you hear the rounds pinging off the outside. Sherman is pulling round. He is getting into a firing position. Sherman's firing. Chaffee's pulling round. Their arm rounds dropping in amongst the defenders. You might think this would be easy, but for a tank to take on infantry in an anti-tank position is extremely difficult. They're going to need to wait until extra armour is pulled forward, and also extra infantry. Tank-infantry cooperation is absolutely vital. Oh, SDKFZ 222 is pulling forward. He has decided to take on the Chaffee. That is a very brave thing to do with a 2cm gun. He's firing on the Chaffee and the Sherman. But that's essentially a really light armoured vehicle. That's just about a suicidal move on his part. The Panzer Grenadier coming forward. The pack is firing. The Allied army is retreating. There's a counter-attack going on. Lots of rounds cracking across the battlefield. You can only think that reinforcements are on their way. Here they are. Another part of the formation is moving forward. There is another Sherman. Very familiar vehicle for anyone who knows anything about the US Army in World War II. It's an M16 half-track, armed with a quad 50 cal machine gun. This is a ferocious weapon. It was designed as a light anti-aircraft gun to discourage low-flying aircraft. Used against ground targets, you can imagine the impact of 4 caliber machine guns. You've got to know that people shot the other 222 is trying his luck to move up into a firing position. He's looking. G42 is firing. American coming up. 222 has been knocked out. And US infantry are destroyed on the ground. They have bazookas. Running forward to another mortar as well. Infantry moving forward, foreign movement. movement. Heavyweight fire down on the German defenders. Scored a hit on the STK 251. Knocked that vehicle out. So we've got two German vehicles, both knocked out. Counter-grenadiers are realising that the Turks, the tides Turkish, they are starting to withdraw back on strategic band. There's still a hit to take care of. The weight of fire dropping down on the German position. Not just to use rifles.
When they entered the Second World War, they built less than 150 in a single year. The rest of their production went to producing things like the Jeep you can see here, like the weapons carrier that you saw earlier on. Now, what I'll do is I'll just name check the vehicles they've passed. We're kicking off here with the British Jeep, an iconic vehicle from the Second World War. Somewhere in the region of 640,000 built. The Germans were looking their eye teeth for that kind of production. The German Kugelwagen, the German Jeep type, they could never get their hands on. They never had enough. The Dodge weapons carrier, we saw that in action. We also saw that 50 caliber on the back of it, very, very important. Morris armoured car. Interesting vehicle, really harks back to the beaches of Dunkirk as much as it does. Here's our lookalike there, as you can see. The large is in Bovington, the Daimler Dingo in front, we've got the formal links coming up behind. Daimler armoured car. That's been followed up by the M8 armoured car, Greyhound. Interestingly enough, Chris mentioned that the British were not that impressed by the Greyhound. And the reason they weren't was the Daimler in front of it. The Daimler did the same job, but it was better. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the M26 Pacific Dragon Wagon, and that is a beast. It's an armoured recovery vehicle. I'll say a bit more about that again when we get the chance. Here's one of my particular favourites, the Meat Chopper M16. Richie and engineered vehicles can say in most of its work, taking away targets, following up. One of our Shermans, we'll see some more Shermans later on. This is the sort of Sherman that the British would have used in Dunkirk. That would have been nice. The British would have used in Alamein. This is the F4A1. And they're coming right at a suitably sedate. And a company called American Bantam very quickly produced the winning bid, as it were, but then realised almost immediately that they weren't capable of meeting the demand. The American Army said, yeah, we like it, it looks good, it does everything we want it to do, can we have several 100,000 please? The American Bantam said, well, we can't do that. So the order was passed on to a company called Willis Overland. That's why we tend to call them Willis Jeeps. Dodge here was very much a private initiative by Dodge. They put it together. The American Army, they didn't have a 3/4 ton prime mover at the time. It was kind of non-standard weight, if you will. Dodge put this together using pre-existing parts and came up with an incredibly robust vehicle, very, very good cross-country. Now, the Morris. Word or two about the Morris. When the British Army evacuated the region of Dunkirk, it left most of its armour behind. In order to fill the gap, we put together a number of what was known as light armoured cars. The Morris was the best, I have to say, of any bad bunch. Right, now then, little bit of concentration on them. Here we've got the Daimler armoured car. Designed as a reconnaissance vehicle within a light. The Daimler was the first armoured car, first British armoured car to carry a 2-pounder cannon on the front there. That was, at the time, beginning of the Second World War, a very capable anti-tank gun. Firing solid shot, the Daimler was first used in the Western Desert.
Large turret ring, and that means you can fit larger guns as they come into service. Now this particular Panzer III, it's the model L. The Germans, they have a system, so as you go through each improvement, it becomes a new L. A, B, C, D, and you give a letter to each. Tank factory in World War II, School of Tank Technology does all the analysis. So this is one of a number of captured German tanks from North Africa. You can actually see battle damage on it. We're not 100% certain where exactly it was captured at the time, but it's one that we learned the cargo is fought against, because the majority very few other countries had tanks at this time of the war. Now following on behind it, this M3 Stuart tank, we've taught 8,000 of them in the war. It's a tank we make the most of. It was originally designed to replace Matilda II as what was called an infantry tank. It was to support the infantry attacking prepared positions. Thick armour to our M16, put your anti-tank gun on top of that. They then move on to something called the M10. Sherman running gear, thin armour plate, and a big gun on the top, becomes the M10. This is a later model. They wanted speed. Brian Carter, Lieutenant Colonel Bruce, really keen to get a fast vehicle. And that's what they've done with this M18, what was known as the Hellcat. It's got a radial engine. Village, don't worry, we've got another 20 waiting for you that we'll issue later on, so that they see a huge attrition rate, very rough on the crews, but they work. It's a very simple design, and it's simplified during its production run. Compared, if you look at one of these to an early war one, lots of bits are left off it. There's times some of these left the factory without even a seat for the driver. So we're less worried about being invaded. We can start making these engines to go in tanks. So they go in the Cromwell, and they make that tank so ridiculously fast, it will set the tank apart unless you degrade the engine. We also put it into this tank, the next version in that family, the Comet. And that engine gives this vehicle speed at about 600 horsepower. That needs your engine.
It's a good example. Just about every sizable engineering company started to produce tanks. They started to produce Shermans, and the designation of the Sherman depends very much on the power pack that's in the back. Now, in the order which they're coming around at the moment, we've seen the M1A1, that was the cast one, that rounded hull that we saw earlier on. This is the M4A2, this is our favourite Fury tank. It's been followed up by the M4A4, and then the M50 and the M51. Initially, tanks were powered by aircraft engines, and the first engine to be put into a Sherman tank was a Continental Radial, was an aeroplane engine, as I think David mentioned earlier on. If you imagine a kind of vertical radial engine where you have the cylinders in a circle, but arranged vertically as it would originally dictated the size and shape of the Sherman tank. You had to be a certain engine number to get those aero engines in. And the aeroplane engines had a lot of power, but they did tend to be, well, they were thirsty, but they also tend to be a little bit high maintenance.
M5 version of the Stuart tank that we saw earlier. Again, this is put together. Ultimately, they're putting a requirement out, 75mm gun. It's not the same gun as on the Sherman. It's a gun that was actually originally designed for the B-25 digital bomber. They were going to use it to fire at ground targets. Thinner walls, lighter, and it was great to fit in a light tank. So they used that, so it's got some firepower. Again, they're looking at things like torture bar, suspension, Cromwell. We don't have enough engines for it. They start with a Liberty engine, this development from a First World War American engine. We start using an engine called the Meteor, and it's put together by a chap with a great name, Bunty Rowbottom, works for Rolls-Royce. He's a designer, and his Belter works for Rolls-Royce. They haven't got that much work there, so he picks up crashed Merlins, Spitfire and Howard Merlin, the engine from the Lancaster bomber. He gets crash versions of that and starts converting them to make up an engine derating that can fit in a tank. And ultimately that becomes one of the first Lend-Lease chaffies that goes across the British forces, and that's what this one looks like. And again, many armies after the Second World War, the Americans have a large stock of these tanks. They leave some of Europe and they're redistributed. So you've got chaffies that see service out in Vietnam, in all sorts around the world, because again, they're smaller, lighter, and that of course goes.
with the Reconnaissance force arms. Ready for the next attack. Thank you very much indeed to Staff Sergeant McLaren, who's been up there in the commentary box, and of course the whole team who put on a fantastic displays around our field day. Don't forget, things don't end until 6, so don't feel
So you still go through the same system of mobility kill, and otherwise you can just
under-protected tank compared to the enemies again, hence Keaton has the thickest armour of any tank at this time, and we want fire. So we come up with even a newer gun, 120mm rifle
rifles added to it, as it would have if it goes away to fight. You can have the competition how much smoke you've got to produce. So what we're looking at there again, you've got your Barracuda system, that camouflage netting to try and going to be called Shear 2 tank, then becomes Challenger tank in the service. It's the first time ever this new type of armour, flat, faceted looking. You're looking at a skin of a tank there. Underneath it, that's one of the armour packs are that hold this still officially top secret job of armour. I could tell you what's in it, and I'll have to tell you all afterwards. They still guard that.